pay attention. It's the Summer Olympics, which are very important. Not really super important, but they are impressive. Sometimes. And the memes are good. And oh, the controversies. Oh, baby. We got a pole vaulter's massive dong ruining his chances at a medal.
What the hell is even that?
Turkish John Wick, and of course, a biological man.
Allegedly.
Beating the piss out of a woman in the women's boxing event. I mean, we didn't even get through the opening ceremonies without ripe controversy online. But that's just how it is now in the social media age. You literally cannot do anything without somebody getting pissed somewhere, somebody getting offended. It's either the Christians, or the progressives, or the Muslims, or the Islam, or the fucking... Somebody's mad about something somewhere at all times. And the Olympics, bringing in everyone from all over the fucking world and trying to do something, is obviously going to cause some stir on these fucking soundbite little social media feeds we're all sharing our bullshit on. Headline reads, an Olympics scene draws scorn. Did it really parody The Last Supper? So here's a little clip from the French opening ceremonies here. They're just taking highlights. I mean, people are pissed that there's like drag queens involved. Yeah, this was like the opening. Apparently that crown, I guess, is supposed to look similar to the Jesus from the Last Supper. Drag queens, you know, whatever. Looks very like liberal artsy. Like, let's be honest, French, like it's French. You know what I mean? Like, are we really that surprised? At some point, this guy rolls down in this big platter of food and a fucking Smurf pops out. I mean, the progressive liberal arts kids are the ones that get into the theater and do this shit. What do you think it's going to be? Like them sitting down and praying to Jesus? No. They chose fat female Jesus and a Smurf to pop out of a fucking banquet of food and sing some weird shit. Is anyone that surprised? If you're some sort of Orthodox Christian, I'm sure, yeah, you're going to be upset. And you're going to go on Twitter and talk about how fucking satanic it is and blah, blah, blah. But as an agnostic, someone without a dog in the fight, really, I'm just like, hey, you know what? Things are allowed to be made fun of. It is what it is. But I will say, in defense of Christianity, they do seem to be the butt of most jokes in our current day society, as far as putting them up against other religions. It's always the Christians that seem to be the ones that get mocked a little more. It feels like the safe play, right? Because they're just going to go to Twitter and like say how mad they are, or if you like mock Islam or something. You just gotta be careful. That shit, they take that shit a little serious. So that was a couple of weeks ago, and just recently, you know, after the controversy, the Vatican finally responds, because we're all so concerned about what the Vatican thinks of the opening ceremony, and they were apparently saddened. The Holy See was saddened by the certain scenes at the opening ceremony of the Paris Olympic Games and cannot but join the voices raised in recent days to deplore the offense done to many Christians and believers of other religions. At a prestigious event where the whole world comes together to share common values, there should be no illusions ridiculing the religious convictions of many people. Freedom of expression, which is clearly not called into question here, is limited by respect for others. Is it though? Like, so here, you got to understand, guys, like I can understand maybe why people, like, this is their life. It's everything to them. They believe all this shit that makes them mad. And I'm not like vouching for the opening ceremonies. Wasn't my cup of tea. Felt a little strange. Feels like we have to shoehorn certain types of people into every performance now. Which is fine, but it's just, you kind of get used to it. That is what it is. But to me, they totally redeemed themselves when they pulled out this heavy metal bullshit right here. I don't know, but this scene was sweet. They had like a headless Marie Antoinette, some French metal band just crushing. I'm gonna skip through. I'll probably get copyrighted. I mean, this is lit. Let's fucking go. Con una canción. Just a bunch of headless Marie Antoinettes. They get a little nuts at the end, like then shoot some shit off. Oh yeah, hold on. The double bass pedals on the drums. God, metal gets me so amped up. I feel like I should be lifting weights right now or something. But for me, I'm like, all right, yeah, you can have, you know, you can have Fat Jesus and Blue Smurf. Like, just give me the medal and the Marie Antoinettes. I'm fine with that. Anyways, moving along, this is some guy by the name of Duplantis who beat his own world record in the pole vault. Very impressive. This is the slow motion replay. Just insanity, right? Like, I find the Olympics very strange because it's like this conglomeration of very strange athletic feats that people from all over the world train to do. And there are just some very bizarre events. We're not going to do it justice. We're going to barely even scratch the surface of all the things that go on in the Olympics today. We're just going to touch on a couple of things that hit my feed I thought were interesting. That guy was very impressive. But what was not so impressive, or should I say impressive in a different way, was Olympian Anthony Ammirati losing out on his medal chances because his meat was too big to carry over the bar. I'll tell you what I'm talking about here. Here he goes. Oh, no.
What happened here, Coach Juvie?
What happened here, Coach Juvie?
On the way down.
What was that? All right. What happened here, Coach? Can you give us a little colored commentary? Well, you see, what happened was there was he was up over, his body was over, and then the massive girth of his sideways cock ripped the bar off, and he lost his. You know what? Let's cut to commercial. Oh, he brought the baguette to the games. This is good. So this clearly got memed into hell. This guy, imagine losing an event, you're kind of let down, whatever. I don't know. I don't think he medaled or whatever. You're done. The adrenaline wears off and you go on your phone and you're just going gigaviral online for your meat getting stuck on the bar. Hilarious, right? So he finally responded. He made this post, POV, tu fais plus de buzz pour ton paquet que pour tes purses. And if you don't speak French, idiot, who doesn't speak French? Let me actually scroll up to what it's translated to. It says, POV, you create more buzz for your package than for your performances. Love it. For whatever reason, he apparently posted this and then took it down. And I'm like, buddy, if you're gonna play, you know what I'm saying, you're getting memed for the best possible case. You're literally going viral for having a massive meat, right? Like what is there what are you embarrassed about? You got to play into that, turn it into a brand, make some money off of it. Get someone to make an animation of you running down and pole vaulting off your own meat over the fucking high bar. You know what I'm saying? There's millions of opportunities here. Don't delete that shit. Can you tell me what happened here, Coach? Just a little commentary. Well, you see, what happened was his mass.
The Olympic pole vaulter who went viral for seemingly knocking the bar off with his bulge has broken his silence. Anthony Ammirati told the French Athletics Foundation, "It's a big disappointment. I'm a bit gutted. The conditions were good. It's the first time I've started
a big disappointment."
Competition without any stress. I was almost there. The 21-year-old French athlete did not address the moment his bulge got in the way of his performance.
He did after that, which we just saw. Anyways, good times. Speaking of pole vaulting, this is Clara Fernandez. Once I started watching Olympic clips, shit like this just keeps popping up in my feed. Very impressive. I don't even know who made this video, but
I see it.
Very impressive. Moving on. Yusuf Daikic, a Turkish legend sent to the Airsoft Pistol Championships, pulled a silver medal looking like an absolute badass. I don't know if you saw any footage from this particular event, but these people show up to this shit in like headgear with like eye patches and special targets and all this bullshit. My man Yusuf rolled up like nothing, just some reading specs, hangs it like this, one hand in the pocket, pow, just popping bullseyes left and right. Went super viral just for how badass he looked. He actually ended up pulling a silver medal. Super impressive. But some of the memes that came out of this were just fantastic. It's even funnier with his Inspector Gadget nemesis. Like, what is dude wearing right now, dude? The big old canned earmuffs and these little fucking danglies on top. Like, they're just, you can't teach swag, right? He rolls up there, nothing, pulls up, fucking pow, silver medal. You got dude with all the gear and the bullshit. Can't even place. Fucking nerd. Yusuf then goes on to post a picture of himself with his cat. Once he realizes he was going viral on the internet, he was super grateful to everyone that made him go viral. Looks like a very nice dude. Just very wholesome all around. Oh yeah, this chick actually went viral as well. Just, I mean, look at this. The most main character energy I've ever seen in my life. She's got the gadgets, but looks real bad with it. Real bad. I think she... Look at that look. Look at that look, bro. Oh! I mean, the music edit helps. I think Elon retweeted a few of these ones, and she ended up thanking Elon for making her viral or something, but this look is so fucking cold. Look at this. Woo! Shivers, bro. This is pommel horse guy, USA's Steven Nedorosik, who was the second American man to medal at the pommel horse event in over 4 decades. Clearly not America's strength when it comes to the Olympic Games, but this guy, I guess, executed one of the hardest routines of the events. What's a hard pommel horse routine, you ask? I have no fucking clue. What even is the pommel horse? Why is it a thing? I have no idea, but look at this motherfucker. He is cooking. Get it. Get it, Steven. Swinging them legs. God damn, boy. Look like a big Twizzler flinging around in the air, all sexy like that. Watch the dismount. This is nice. Bang! Unbelievable pommel routine. Just incredible. I just get such a kick out of this shit. Gymnastics in general, it's just such a funny kind of very, very specific thing to be very good at. I've seen they've been around for years. Don't get me wrong. In fact, I looked it up because I'm like, what? Like, where did this come from? Who was one day like, yeah, let's put these 2 bars and fling around it and call it a pommel horse and do these crazy routines. And apparently, its origins date way back to the ancient Olympics in the stables of Rome. It's like one of the oldest Olympic events. It descends from a wooden horse used by the Romans to teach mounting and dismounting. The pommel horse featured in the ancient Olympics and was among the first events at the first modern Olympics in 1896. I mean, cooler than I thought, to be honest. Now you're not only crushing the pommel horse, you're part of Olympic heritage. You're part of history. Now I could read you this long article about pommel horse guy, but nobody's worried about that. The thing that I was curious about, I saw this on Twitter, is because you guys know that I have a little history with Rocket League. Some of you, I've played Rocket League a lot of my life. I went through a phase where I was playing pretty good, got to Diamond 3 and champ for a couple seasons. And apparently the pommel horse guy is nice with it. Look at this play. Look at this. Look at this carry.
Yes!
In the wall.
It's so fucking good, Stoney. Oh my God.
He's a GC, dude. So good. Pommel horse guy is a Rocket League GC. Just the type of guy that does something and wants to get good at it. You can't just play Rocket League casually. Got to get to GC. You can't just nonchalantly pommel your way into the Olympics. No, you got to be nice with it. Love the tenacity out of Steven, bringing home a medal for the US of A. Let's go. This was an interesting meme. Zuyakin reaction on the podium was priceless. There's 2 Italian medal winners biting the medal. She clearly didn't get the memo. She's like, oh. She's like, oh. And then just like puts it up to her mouth, which is so funny. I watched this and I was like, oh, that's cute. I don't get it. Why are they biting the medal? So once again, I did my research, as I always do. And apparently Olympians bite their medals, something that's been going around for a long time. It's like a purity check. It's a play on the old tradition, I guess, of biting gold in the olden days to see if it was real, because real gold is soft and malleable. And if you bit it, you could leave an impression. And if it was fake, it would break your tooth or it would not leave an impression. And that's apparently kind of carried over into the Olympics. I guess it's been going on for a long time. So when you win a medal, it's like, badass, I got a medal, biting it. And now here's the deal. Like, I feel like if you win gold, it makes sense. But silver and bronze, those are a little bit harder than gold, aren't they? I feel like it should be reserved for the gold medal winner. But I'm not a coach. I'm not an Olympian by any means. Unless perpetually not reaching my goals and staying up too late or Olympic sports, I don't think I'll ever make it to the Olympics. And finally, we have probably the biggest controversy to come out of this, because it comes down to what is everyone's favorite topic? Gender and sports. So this is Amin Khalif. She is an Algerian women's professional boxer. And the controversy this whole week has been people thinking that she's a biological male. So as of me recording this right now, she just recently won the semifinal round and is advancing to the finals. So I think this controversy mainly blew up because this Italian female boxer got absolutely rocked and was basically crying about how she's never been hit so hard in her life. And so then this whole controversy started, and apparently Amin has XY chromosomes, which are obviously male chromosomes, but people are saying that she was born biological female. It's like this big clusterfuck. And everyone on the internet, half of the people have decided that she's definitely a man and is fighting in female boxing, and the other half is like, she's a biological woman with some weird chromosomes going on. There's like rumors of this test that happened that she failed years ago, which is a whole nother story I'll get into. To make it very clear, for me personally, outside of this particular case, biological men competing in women's sports is one of the funniest things to happen in the last 3 decades. And when I say funny, it's just so stupid and pathetic. Like, I just can't even believe it's a reality that we're at that point. So I have to laugh when I see it. Otherwise, I'll go absolutely fucking insane. In this case, unless there's like undeniable proof that she is a biological male that has been charading as a female her whole life to, I don't know, win some sort of boxing championship. But if it's this particular outlier where she was born biological female with biological female parts, just exhibits a lot of male characteristics. Maybe she has a higher testosterone than normal. The other possibility is that maybe she takes testosterone. Maybe she juices, right? Who knows? Like, there's been crazier things have been done in the pursuit of gold Olympic medals over the years. You look at all of these intensely competitive events that have happened over the years: Tour de France, Lance Armstrong, the blood doping, professional sports. The Olympics is no different. Everyone's trying to get an edge. If they can dope or do illegal substances and get away with it, they will. So I have no idea in this case for Emaine. If she is a man and she's beating the piss out of women in the Olympics, that's insane. I have to laugh. And I have to laugh because that's terrible. Obviously, it's not a good look. And sucks for women. There's obviously athletic women though that look muscular. This, I guess, here's another piece of it. This is a Thai women's boxer, Janjiam Sunawapene, at the Olympics today. I haven't even heard about this one, but this is apparently another people are saying another man fighting in women's boxing. So I know less about that one. This Emaine one has been the one stealing the spotlight. Of course, J.K. Rowling wasted no time coming to X to talk down about this. Could any picture sum up our new men's rights movement better? The smirk of a male who knows he's protected by a misogynist sporting establishment, enjoying the distress of a woman he's just punched in the head and whose life's ambitions he's just shattered. And as always, you have everyone fleeing to the comments to call her a TERF or a racist or whatever the fuck it is. Listen, if Emaine Khalif is a male, I'm on J.K. Rowling's side in this case. No room for biological men in female sports. I just think that nobody really has proof. Maybe they do. Let's see RG3. Robert Griffin III, a legendary quarterback for a few years, came out in defense. So let's see his side, because this is, everything becomes politicized, especially around gender. So let's look at
unfair situations I've ever seen happen at the Olympics. 25-year-old Algerian boxer Imani Khalif is a biological woman and competing in the welterweight division at the Olympics in Paris. In the round of 16, she went up against this woman, Italian boxer Angela Carini. Now, Carini decided to retire in the fight after 46 seconds because she got punched in the face 2 times extremely hard. So Khalif moves on to the quarterfinals and all is well, right? I mean, how could this situation be unfair or cruel in any kind of way? Stay with me. After Khalif's victory, a firestorm of misinformation and lies took over the social media world. Some of those lies were that Khalif is a biological man and a transgender woman.
So I'm just curious, this is everyone's take, but Robert Griffin, how do you know? How do you know this? Are you friends with her family? Do you know her childhood? You know what I'm saying? No one's leaving any room for speculation of maybe not, but I'll listen to it.
She was taking advantage of a loophole in the system that gave her an unfair advantage against the other women. Well, as they say, a lie can get halfway across the world before the truth ever puts its pants on. But as a defender of truth, I did my research, so buckle up. Imani Khalif is not a transgender woman or a biological man. Imani Khalif is a woman. She was born that way and has identified that way her entire life.
Okay, Imani. Sorry, I've been saying Emaine this whole time. I'm very bad at pronouncing names. Anyways, go on.
She was born that way and has identified that way her entire life. This little girl is Imani Khalif. Not only is she a woman, but she was born in a country in Algeria that it is de facto illegal to change your gender. And in a country like Algeria, they would never allow a transgender woman to represent them at the Olympics. Khalif has been competing in boxing in women's categories since she was a child.
Because she's a woman.
And even competed in the Tokyo Olympics. All of this backlash stems from the IBA, the International Boxing Association.
I will say, so she's been competing in women's boxing for a long time and has lost to people. There's never been a public outcry like this, but we're kind of at that boiling point, especially in the United States with the kind of progressive gender ideologies. And I say what you will about all that stuff when it comes to sports. I already made my opinion very clear, and I agree with that. So I can see that why there would be an outrage if there were actual biological men competing. It wouldn't surprise me if the overzealous conservative movement was essentially just would latch on to any particular lie or rumor about Imani and run with it to the point where there's an entire demographic of people that think she's a man when she's not. So I don't personally know what to believe. I'll keep listening to it.
Imani Khalif, but also Chinese Taipei's boxer Lin Yuting from the 2023 World Championships, because they stated that they failed eligibility tests for females. The only thing was the IBA never showed any evidence. Imani Khalif and Chinese Taipei's Lin Yuting have both been competing in women's boxing at the top level for years. They didn't suddenly come out of nowhere and claim that they were women, because they've always been women. In fact, if you even dig even deeper, the IBA actually allowed Khalif to compete in the 2023 World Championships, and they only disqualified her after she beat a Russian boxer by the name of Azalea Aminova. Why is that significant? Well, the IOC had actually given recommendations to the IBA that they don't allow Russian boxers to fight in the World Championships, and certainly don't let them fight underneath the Russian flag. We all know why. So now, if you do the research and you pay attention, you'll see that the IBA has nothing to do with the Olympics anymore. And that's because the IBA has been flooded with corruption, have had a lack of financial transparency, and countless instances of corruption within the refereeing and the judging.
So he's going to go on. I would listen to the rest, but I think he's just going to talk about the particular test. The whole thing that people are latching onto, proving that she is a man, was the fact that she failed this XY chromosome test, allegedly. And there was a long post from somebody that understands the situation on Reddit, massively long. And it basically says that the reason she was tested was because the IAC and the IA, whoever, these organizations that are in charge of a lot of these boxing that are super corrupt, like he said, were Russian organizations. And one of the top boxers at the time was Russian. And after Imani beat the Russian boxer, they essentially forced her to do this test, which they said was she failed without ever providing any proof, and with obvious incentive after their own Russian boxer lost to her, and additionally with a huge track record of corruption as well. So the whole thing smells pretty rotten. I actually do.
International Olympic Committee even put out a statement, not because they were trying to cover their tail, but because they were trying to protect this young woman from the hate discrimination that she's received over the past couple days. The IOC has confirmed that Khalif is a woman. If you do any research, you will know that 5 million women suffer with higher testosterone levels than most females. But that doesn't make them a man. Listen to Irish boxer Amy Broadhurst, who fought and defeated Khalif in 2022. Amy said, and I quote, "I don't believe she's done anything to cheat. I think it is the way that she was born that's out of her control. The fact that she's been beaten by 9 females says it all. This young girl is not a man competing against women. She's a woman who's being unfairly judged." When Khalif was 16 years old, she used to have to defend herself against boys in her own village because they would throw punches at her. That's how she got into boxing. But her village didn't have a boxing center for her to go train at. She actually had to go to another village that required her to take a bus. But she didn't have any money for the bus fare. So Khalif sold scrap metal and her mom sold couscous so they could afford the bus fare for her to chase her dreams.
All right, so we get the picture here. It's been interesting to watch this unfold for a couple of reasons. Very clear cut. If there's a biological man that's transition or identifying as a woman and trying to compete in female sports, that should be condemned. And I think there's a good reason for that to blow up and for people to condemn that. On the flip side of that, if you just see the first retweet by some conservative pundit that you follow saying that this person is a man and competing in the Olympics against women without any actual proof that she's a man or out any history showing that she is, and you just run with that and retweet it and create a whole campaign over it, you're kind of a clown at the same time, right? So if what Robert is saying is actually true, I mean, what are you going to do? You can't not let her compete just because she has a little more testosterone or some more masculine features than the other women. She's been competing without problem for years. Of course, the quartering says you wouldn't let your daughter get in the ring with him. He's like, they're 9-7-1. Of course I wouldn't let them get in the ring and fight for an Olympic medal with a 25-year-old woman. There's just some people that are just so convinced that she's a man, and I just haven't seen any actual proof other than people speculating that she failed an XY chromosome test. I could be wrong because I haven't researched this greatly. It's just always interesting to watch how vitriolic this particular topic gets anytime gender's involved. Maybe that Italian boxer that tapped out after 40 seconds after 2 punches from Imani is just a giant pussy. Or maybe she's nasty and got her dreams ripped away from her because she's getting the shit beat out of her by a man. Maybe we'll never know because it's the internet and there's always somehow evidence supporting both cases and it's tough to know what's true. To cleanse the palate here, here's a video of the cameraman for the trampoline gymnastics. Talk about on point. You think trampoline gymnastics is hard? How about being a camera operator for the trampoline gymnastics? That should be an event in its own, and this guy's winning the gold right here. It's a heavy ass rig. There's been a lot of impressive feats of athleticism the past couple weeks. I'm not one that's crazy into the Olympics. I just kind of digest the highlights when they happen online. I do, however, have a reverence and a very high amount of respect for people that train so diligently to become the best at something, even if that something is very weird and strange and useless outside of an Olympic setting. It's very gratifying to me to see someone execute something at a very, very high level, knowing that they spend the majority of their life trying to become the best at that thing. I think that principle is awesome and fun to watch, and is why I love the Olympics, because it's just people competing at a very high level at things that are either physically difficult or, you know, motor skills take difficulty, whatever it is. Very cool. So that's been fun aside from the controversies. What do you guys think about the Olympics? Let me know in the bottom. That's all I really wanted to talk about. I hope you like and subscribe if you haven't, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Peace.